Oh, it's been a good experience. He's a mature young man. I think I respect about him is he's come in here and he respects things that are were already in place. I think he respects what Richie did for our team last year. I think he respects the fact that Richie was the first team all-league player, most improved player in our league, and has come in and not made it all about himself. But at the same time, has been able to deliver in big moments for us. He did it in the Villanova game, took the game over down the stretch, made some huge plays tonight repeatedly. But the way he goes about his business, I really respect it. I think he's a very mature young man, and obviously the talent is on full display, but what's more impressive is how he goes about his business. I mean, I've been around some of the greatest players that this game's ever had, and they all have the same thing in common in terms of how they go about their approach and how much they're a student of the game and how hard they want to be coached. And I see a lot of similarities in his mentality, similar to the great guys I coached. Was very fortunate to coach in the NBA.
Kevin Young, BYU's head coach. He knows a thing or two, like he said. He's been in the NBA a number of years, assistant coach, associate head coach, now in his first year, second year at BYU? Second year at BYU. And who knows, may find himself back in the NBA. But the guy all the way on the other end of the table, A.J. Dybantsa of Brockton, is definitely not from Brooklyn. Brockton is absolutely going to find his way to the NBA sooner than later. Ante and I, we were talking a little bit earlier on in the day back in the newsroom. Ante says to me, if A.J. Dybantsa doesn't play another college game in his life, he's still a top 5 pick. And there are probably a lot of people that feel that way. So these guys, in facing the UConn Huskies, Dan Hurley's Huskies, it was a 86-84 win by UConn, competitive game, fun one, Hall of Fame series game at the Garden. Dybantsa career high, 25 points, efficient, 8 of 14 shooting, 34 minutes. He is now averaging north of 20 points, about 7 rebounds, and shooting almost 60% from the field. Do you think he's ready? Think he's ready for the next level?
No, I wouldn't say he's ready, but I think he's getting there. Man, I mean, it's one of those situations where you heard Kevin Young, he was just talking about, his mentality, and that's all it takes when you have that level of talent with this guy. If he's willing to put the work in, willing to respect everything that's come before him, willing to respect the grind and stay patient and just continue to elevate his game night in and night out. I mean, every single game, this dude has gotten better. The shot making wasn't really there early on in the first couple of games. He was more of a driver. Then in this game, the drive got shut down. UConn wasn't having that. They were like, you're not getting a layup on us. He made his first layup. After that, nothing. Went into halftime with 4 points at him and came out a different player. Shooting the fade, dribble pull-ups, looking on fast breaks to shoot pull-up threes and making them. He was aggressive. He made shots. He got his teammates involved. He's talking to them. He's excited for his teammates when they make plays. He's rebounding at a high level. He's doing everything that you want out of a guy of his build and stature to do. And, man, he looks like he's ready to be an NBA talent. But if this is what he looks like now after Game 3, what do you think it's going to look like after Game 25, Game 30? This kid is special.
What flips the switch to you? Because you were in the building, you were watching this thing. What goes from 4 first-half points to obviously erupting in the second half, making them the close game that it was? And, even in falling short, you don't pin that on him. He was incredible in this game. What inside him, or what did you see, I guess maybe is the better way of asking it, that was different in half number 2 from that first one that was maybe some nerves being back at home, family, friends in attendance, just the feeling out process that was behind him at that point?
Yeah, I think it was one of those situations where, one, they haven't played a team as talented as UConn, obviously. Sure. This is a team, UConn, that could go on and win a national championship. But two, I think at halftime, KY just told them to play. You're missing 2 starters. You're down 2 starters at this point in the game, right? Because Kaba got hurt in the game. Davis is out, dealing with whatever he's dealing with off the court in this game. And so this was a situation where going into halftime, Rob Wright hadn't gotten going. And you're looking and you're saying, all right, man, if we're going to win this game, you got to go be the player that you are. We know you can hit shots. We know that you can play fluid. You got to get outside of the offense just a little bit. play your game, play basketball, do what you know how to do. And I think that's exactly what he did. He went out there and he wasn't trying to get outside of himself. Like, I think outside of himself is what he was trying to do in the first half, which was, oh, I got to get downhill. I got to get to the line. I got to get, make layups and all this other stuff. And, like, he was struggling to do so. When he said, hey, man, I'm just going to hoop and play free and do what I can inside the confines of the offense.
Yep.
But also, you know what I mean, worry about defense, and then let offense come to me as I know how to do it. That's when the flip changed.
So Kevin Young wasn't the only coach, obviously, to speak about his player, A.J. Dybantsa. We also heard from Dan Hurley on the other side, the popular and sometimes fiery UConn head coach. Let's get his thoughts on the top prospect on the other side.
And then saw you talking to A.J. after the game. What was your message to him?
Just the growth, I mean, and his approach. And, sometimes you watch these kids, they come in to college, these high draft picks, and it's been over the course of years and years and years. And, you could see on film the entitlement, the spoiled entitlement, the, not guarding, the not, like, being about team. And, like, so you're on the lead up watching the film, like, I think maybe in the Nebraska scrimmage or the Nebraska exhibition was like a couple of possessions where he was kind of leaking a little bit, like leaking out, not getting on the glass, But then I'm watching the evolution, from game to tonight. I mean, this guy's out there guarding. He's on the backboard. He's communicating with his teammates. I mean, he's playing with a level of desperation to win the game. For a guy that's going to be maybe the number one pick, it's just. There's like a little refreshing to see the guy and the mental toughness. I mean, his first half was a mess, and for him to be able to put that behind him back home and put that second half performance on was as good as you'll see from a freshman.
Listen, if I didn't know better, I'd say Dan here's buttering him up, trying to get him into that transfer portal. Come on over to UConn, play for us. No, as everybody knows, and Hurley even intimated there, AJ is going to find himself in the NBA in less than a year's time, and will be doing so via the draft and somewhere in that top 5, top 3, maybe even number 1. What do you think just a few games in, and we've touched on this a little bit in the past, but as he continues to mature, evolve, get better, just as he will naturally do throughout the college season, you alluded to it earlier. What's it going to look like after 25 games? I mean, God willing, he stays healthy, and we get to find out, obviously. What does he need to work on?
He needs to work on his handle a little bit. He needs to tighten that up for sure, because in the league, like right now, he's just using his athleticism to bounce around and get to where he wants to. But in the league, everyone's athletic, you know what I mean, as we know here in Boston. So he needs to work on his handle a little bit. He needs to work on picking his spots. He needs to work on his defensive IQ, just knowing exactly where to be on the floor, knowing how to guard guys, not getting out of position, and just, using his athleticism to get back in plays. Like, he needs to figure that out. So I think he just needs to continue to play more basketball, honestly, like to watch more basketball, to see himself playing basketball, watch his own film, watch other players' film, talk to more greats that he's been talking to, all, and understand how they got things done, and just, understand in every single moment where he needs to shoot, he needs to pass. Like, his IQ needs to continue to grow. It's good, but he's a college kid. He's 18. He can be great as long as he wants to keep learning about basketball.
We know he's spent some time with Jaylen Brown, and I don't know if we would know about it if we weren't here in Boston and having heard Brown talk about it. Yeah. I guess it just makes me think the special kids, right? The top prospects. This is not as unusual as maybe it can feel at times, that these guys, they're already kind of in NBA circles before they're actually in the league, being mentored by some of these guys. Obviously very early on, Tatum, Kobe, all of these things. And I think, I don't remember, that might have already bled into his NBA career when he finally got a chance to work out with his idol, but obviously not the case with Jaylen in particular. Maybe there are other guys around the league that you've come across, but it feels like Jaylen Brown especially is one that really makes it a point to try and mentor young guys, especially from the area that are frequenting Celtics games and that look like they have really promising futures ahead of them.
Yeah, and he was there. He was there at that game on Saturday night. You know, him, Derek White, Jason Tatum was there.
Yep.
You know, a lot of their Celtics personnel was there as well, obviously, with the game.
Scouting.
Right, there on their home floor. They got to see some of those, you know, other BYU guys, UConn guys, you know what I mean?
Easy walk down from the office for Brad. No big deal.
So it was, you know, JB is one of those guys that definitely takes a liking into that and just giving back to the game because he knows that guys did that for him. So it's always good to see him do that.
All right, so Ante, as we have mentioned, knows AJ a little bit. They've chatted just a little bit and had the opportunity to catch up with him when he rolled into town before this game because part of AJ coming into the area, it's not just obviously this big game. There's a sneaker. It's not this one that I'm wearing. It's actually a lot nicer than the one that I'm wearing. You guys had a chance to catch up and chat about the homecoming.
So I'm here at Concepts in Boston with my boy AJ. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Good,
He's playing BYU against UConn tomorrow. Look, you always talk about your Brockton mentality, but what part of Brockton really comes part in your game?
What part? I think just the passion. You play with a lot of passion. I play with a lot of energy plays. A lot of times after I dunk, I'm screaming. On defensive end, I'm screaming, I'm yelling. So just like, you know, my loud presence.
Yeah. You here at Concepts, so I got to ask you, what's the biggest misconception about Massachusetts Hoopers?
Oh, that we ain't like that. Massachusetts got a lot of dogs. We got a lot of players that's been in the NBA, playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's coming and going. But I think we're one of the more underrated states. I think that is because we near like Tri-State, which produces a ton of hoopers that we don't get a lot of love. But I think we up there.
All right. So look, I need you to finish this lyric for me. I went to AP, 200K.
Show me that frost, rainbow face.
All right, so you see a lot of people out there, every time their team doesn't do what they need to do on the floor, they posting that video of you. I know you online. So what does that feel like, knowing that a lot of fan bases want to see you in their jersey?
I mean, it's a blessing. Obviously, like, there's so many different opportunities and so many different fan bases that want me to play. But, I mean, I'm just excited. I mean, now that it helps me because I'm not – wherever fan base I'm going to, it's like, you know, a lot of players go to a fan base where they're not wanted. But hopefully that won't be the case for me. It looks like it won't be the case for me.
Right. And you chose BYU. Everyone always asks you why you chose it. And we know you got there because you want to go to the league and you think Kevin Young can get you there. What are the three main things that you're focusing on this year so that you can achieve that goal?
Just more winning, not so for just looking for like myself on a lot of these games, just focus on winning. Just getting better on the defensive end. I think, you know, the NBA prides a lot of two-way players. And just boosting up my basketball IQ, making reads at a higher level, faster, quicker.
Yeah, so you're playing here against UConn. They're obviously the pride of New England, so somewhere that you're from. What does it feel like to play in Boston in front of your family and friends against a team like that?
That should be a fun experience. Obviously, they're number 3 in the country for a reason. They won, the past 2 out of 4 national championships, well coached, so it's going to be a fun one.
All right, and then when you come home, just like how when I go home, I know I always got to hit up some food items. I got to get some specific. What's the 3 things that you got to get when you come back to Massachusetts? Let me know what you text your dad about. Let me know.
Seafood.
Okay.
Tomorrow after the game, might hit up a little Jamaican spot. My mom is Jamaican, so I'd hit up a little Jamaican spot, and then I don't know. I like sweets, so anything sweet. A little dessert,
Yeah, man. You always, you know, with your family, you have a great family that you come with. You're always giving back to the community. How do you stay grounded in this moment, man? Like, everyone's talking about you already being in the NBA and what you're going to do and all this other stuff, but, like, how do you stay in the moment right now?
If you know my dad, he won't even let me get too high, so my dad.
Appreciate you, AJ. Thank you.
Yeah, so AJ caught up with me, but there was actually another Massachusetts native in this game from Southborough, Mass, Alex Caravan. He could be a future Celtic in this, in my opinion. Like, I see him as a future Celtic guy, like not a lottery pick, but like, could he be a 57th pick, you know, or, you know, after the draft is over? Like, he's a guy who can knock down shots. He knows how to win. You know, Brad loves those 2 combinations. Knocking down shots, you know how to win, you can come play for me. So we could see that. I wanted to shout out Caravan as well because he balled out in that game and he had a lot to prove, and he proved it.
Yeah, it was a fun one to watch. Thriller came down to the wire, obviously. I was going to say, unfortunately, AJ's team fell short, but honestly, regionally, maybe you were out there rooting for UConn. I wouldn't blame you.
Fans
Yeah,
out there.
so
Roll skis.
no doubt about it.